Hello friends, welcome to my channel, and in this video tutorial I am going to start a topic in reproduction in organism, that is sexual reproduction. Let's begin the topic. Yes, when we talk about sexual reproduction, in this type of reproduction, formation of gametes taking place as well as fusion of gametes taking place. Gametes are what? They are the sex cells, and these sex cells can be of two types. They may be sperm or ovum, and the organs, the reproductive organs that are producing these gametes, they are known as gonads. Like in case of male, it is testes producing sperms, and in case of female, it is ovaries producing ovum or ova. Now when we talk about the characters of sexual reproduction, they are biparental, involvement of two parents, definitely the formation of gametes taking place, fertilization taking place, that is fusion of male and female gametes, and it involves both type of division, that is meiosis as well as mitosis. During the formation of gametes involves meiosis, and afterwards fertilization, after zygote formation, mitosis. Then what happened? The daughter organism that produce, they are totally genetically different from the parents. Why they are genetically different from the parents? Because there is combination of characters, that combination of genes taking place, because half of the characters are the parental maternal character and half are the paternal characters. That is the reason the daughter organisms, they are genetically different. And yes, another important point is what? The multiplication is not that so rapid like taking place in asexual reproduction. Now what is the significance? The significance is the variation. Since here combinations of genes are there, that results in the variation, and when variation is there, definitely it contributes to evolution. Now let's come some important terms. Like in case of plants, the flower is the reproductive structure, and the male reproductive part of the flower is known as stamens, and the female reproductive part is known as carpel or the pistil. Now if male and female reproductive structure present in the same plant, okay, then we use the term bisexual. Same plant it is, that's why it is monoecious. Okay, so monoecious and bisexual we use for when male and female reproductive structure present in the same plant, and when it is present in the different plant, then it is unisexual, because different male and female part in the different plants, and dioecious. Why di? Because two different plants, that's why it is dioecious. And what happened now here the flowering plants which bear, whenever we are talking about unisexual, there must be a flower that bearing only male part, that is only stamen, they are known as staminate, and the part which is bear only carpels or pistil, they are known as pistillate. Okay, now example of monoecious is maize or coconut, and example of unisexual flowers like papaya, date palm, mulberry. Now in case of fungi and algae, we use the term homothallic or heterothallic. Now what happened now? They produce thallus. Fungi and algae, they produce thallus when their reproductive structure, male and female structure present in the same thallus, then it is bisexual, and when their different thallus, different reproductive structures are present, then it is heterothallus. When we talk about in case of animals, then what happened? Most of them, majority of them are unisexual. That means either male or female. The individuals are either male or female, and that's why they are what? Unisexual. And when we talk about unisexual, another term comes, that is sexual dimorphism or sexual dimorphic animals. That means the sexes are different. We can easily identify which are the male and female. So the organism, they shows differences in the two sexes. And this is what unisexual and sexual dimorphism. Another comes when we talk about sexual dimorphism, there is another term hermaphrodite. What happened when both male and female reproductive structures are present in the same species, okay, same individual, or we can use the term bisexual, like tapeworm, earthworm, leech, or sponges. Now what happened? Now there are certain types of sexual reproduction on the basis of the nature of fusing of structures, that is syngamy and conjugation. When we talk about syngamy, then it is fertilization, fusion of male and female gametes. And when we talk about conjugation, here two individuals come closer, they exchange the genetic material by a certain bridge and they separate. Now come here syngamy. So as I told, we use the term fertilization for it. Here what happens is a complete and permanent fusion of gametes, and these gametes are haploid, that is N type, okay, and when they fuse become 2N zygote, okay, and it is only mostly common mode of sexual reproduction. Next comes here the types of syngamy. This can be on the basis of the source of fusing gametes, like self endogamy or exogamy. Now here what happens in endogamy, like the fusion of two types of gametes, and these two types of gametes derive from the same parent, that is what uniparental. It is very rarest one, like the tinea taking place. And when we talk about exogamy, that is cross fertilization, when fusion of gametes, and these gametes are derived from the different parents, that is biparental. And the common examples are like cockroach, frog, human beings and all. Another is on the basis of the structure of fusion of gametes, okay, like here isogamy, anisogamy or hologamy. Isogamy where the two gametes are morphologically as well as physiologically similar to each other, okay, they are similar. Iso means only similar, so when they are morphologically and physiologically similar, then it is isogamy, okay. Examples like monocyst in kind of protozoan. And then when we are talking about anisogamy or heterogamy, here what happened, here the fusing gametes are morphologically and physiologically they are different, like in case of frog, rabbit, human beings, they are different, and we'll use the term aniso. It's iso and it is aniso. And here the another is hologamy, commonly seen in the yeast. Now here what happened, when we know that yeast are unicellular, and these unicellular cells, when the normal cells, when say the somatic cells, normal cells, when they behaves like gametes and they fertilizes, that is what hologamy, okay. Now another is conjugation. Yes, here what happens, it is a temporary pairing of the two parents, then they exchange the genetic material and then they separate. Example like paramecium. Now comes here the reproductive cycle in plants. So it is mainly in three ways. Annual plants are there, biennial plants are there, perennial. Annual plants means their full life cycle completes in 1 year. That means they growing from seeds, bloom, produce seeds or die totally in one growing season. Like example is marigold. It's a common example we know. Then what happened in biennial plants? Biennial means here only the biennial, they are completing in two years, okay. They germinate, grow, even survive throughout the winter, and then in another second year they grow, bloom or die. Like the examples like carrot or onion. And then is perennial, when they live for more than 2 years, okay. Then they return year after year and they continue on growing until they reach their maturity. Varies by plant, by averages 3 to 5 years, it varies, okay, but more than 2 years, okay. Examples like tulips, asters, these are the common lilies, these are the common examples. Now comes here the breeding in animals. So generally in case of animals, they may be seasonal breeders or continuous breeders. Now what happens in case of seasonal breeders, the organisms can breed only during a certain time period in a year. It's not like they always can breed. In a certain time period they will breed to produce offspring. Examples like sheep, goats and horses, cattle, pigs, etc. And in case of continuous breeders, these species, they can breed and mate throughout the year. Continuously they can breed. Okay, here the humans, apes, they are included in continuous breeders, and they have child in any time of the year. And another important point is what, that the continuous breeders, yes, the continuous breeders are sexually receptive during estrus, at which time ovarian follicles are maturing and ovulation can occur. So estrus, what it refers to the phases when female is sexually receptive, or say we can say in heat. Okay, and under various regulated by various gonadotrophic hormones, then ovarian follicles are mature, then estrogen secretions are there. In details we are going to study later on, but these things are happening, that is what, during estrus, and ovulation occur, and that is the reason they are more receptive, sexually receptive. And here what happened, then mammals, they can either, they can have estrus cycle or menstrual cycle. Now what happened in estrus or menstrual cycle, like this estrus cycle commonly found in non-primates like cow, sheep, rats, deers, dogs, and menstrual cycle in primates like monkey, apes, or humans. Now what happened in estrus cycle, the consists changes in their activities of the ovaries, then accessory ducts, and as well as hormones, everything during breeding seasons of the reproductive phase. But when we are talking about menstrual cycle, activities of ovaries, accessory ducts, hormones are cyclic, like menstrual cycle, the period of 28 days in case of human, occur throughout their whole reproductive phase. Okay, here what happened, short period of estrus time or heat, but here what happened, this menstrual phase can be various phases, like menstrual phase, follicular phase, luteal phases. Okay, the major difference is this, that in case of estrus cycle, no blood flow is there, but in menstrual cycle, blood flow is there. Another important point, the sexual urge increases during estrus period, and female permits the copulation. Okay, only during this period only. But in case of menstrual cycle, the sexual urge is decreases. The sexual urge decreases during menstrual cycle, and female does not allow copulation during this period. This is one of the important questions generally asked, the difference between estrus cycle and menstrual cycle. So that's all. In my next video, I will be discussing about events taking place during sexual reproduction. Thank you and stay tuned.